Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jerma here with another episode of Enlighten! The series, of course, where I go back in time, look at a title that was overlooked by a lot of people. Well, maybe not so much overlooked by people, but a title that fell through the cracks and nobody really talks about anymore. So this time I'm going to talk about Heart of Darkness. No, not the book. This has nothing to do with the book. It's got the same name, though. It's kind of funny. So the guy responsible for this game, his name is Chahi. And he's sort of the grandfather of cinematic storytelling in video games. Chahi is the guy that made Another World. And if you type Another World into Google, you're going to find a million different articles on this guy. And if it wasn't for guys like Chahi, we would probably be stuck still in the press A to jump, press B to shoot, kill the boss at the end of the game type gameplay. But let's start talking about Heart of Darkness. Gonna do this in review style, just like in the last video. So what do you say we go back in time? Space. The infinite journey. These are the stories of... No, that's not how this works. This is Heart of Darkness. A game so full of imagination that it couldn't even handle itself. Releasing in 1998 under the now defunct Interplay, Heart of Darkness is the definition of development and publishing struggles. The game saw many, many different delays. Mostly, it was to create the game's many cutscenes and pre-rendered backgrounds. Not to mention the bidding war that went between a bunch of different companies on who was actually going to distribute this game. For all these shortcomings, though, the game did do quite well. Over 1 million copies sold. Now that's quite a success for any game company standards. So what happened to this game? How come you don't really hear about it? How come nobody cares about it? It's because of Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time, Banjo-Kazooie, and Resident Evil 2 all released in this same year, and Banjo-Kazooie actually released 1 day before Heart of Darkness. So it's a big uphill battle, especially Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is considered one of the best games ever created. So when your game is going up against those types of games, you're in a little bit of trouble.
Sleeping in my class in broad daylight.
Heart of Darkness is about a young boy named Andy, a young middle schooler with an authority problem. After getting in trouble at school in what seems to be a regular occurrence, Andy meets up with his faithful companion Whiskey. After a strange eclipse sucks away his dog companion, Andy rushes home to start his journey of rescue. The story's pretty cut and dry, but it can be cute in the right places.
Teacher called. I want to talk to you.
The cutscenes in the game are very, very interesting. They always start and always end in gameplay. It can be something as simple as talking to your dog, or dropping you in front of a 50-foot monster that's about to eat off your face. And this is something that Heart of Darkness does very, very well. They give you a sense of urgency. You have to pay attention to the cutscenes, because if you don't, if you get up and go get a soda somewhere, you're going to sit back down and be dead over and over again. And these cutscenes are really, really streamlined. Sometimes you don't even know they're happening. It's a fantastic mechanic that really should be the norm for the industry. More people need to take a page out of the Half-Life book and have cutscenes and have cinematics be part of the experience, rather than just be something you load and watch. So gameplay-wise, Heart of Darkness plays just like the other Chahi games. In most situations, you are going to be jumping on platforms, climbing on walls, or solving strange puzzles. Difficulty-wise, this game is on an incredibly difficult scale. The controls are very difficult to get used to, and at points the game is just unfair. Your only real means of defense is a wonky laser beam gun and a magical green goo attack. So what I'm trying to say is, you are going to die in this game over and over and over and over again. So prime your wall to be ready for a controller to go through it. And it can be also said that Heart of Darkness has some very, very graphic death animations. You get ripped apart, you get squished, you get crushed. There are a lot of terrible ways to die in this game. The game is also very, very short, spanning 2 discs, It only takes about 2.5 hours to beat the entire game. Most of the room is taken up by, of course, the cutscenes, 30 minutes of them on both discs. But if you can take the stress of the gameplay and you don't mind watching a cutscene every now and then, this game has to be played. Eric Chahi has created a fantastic game, and I am so glad that he got back into the industry. He created that new game from dust. That is an Eric Chahi game, so it's great to see him getting back into it after so long. But that's going to wrap up this episode of Enlighten, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And go check out this game if you have a chance. So thank you, everybody. I will see you all next time. Take care, everybody.